A coalition of civil society organizations has urged the Supreme Court to dismiss a lawsuit filed by some state governors challenging the establishment of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and other anti-corruption bodies. Speaking at a joint press briefing in Abuja, the executive director of the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center (CISLAC) described the lawsuit as a deliberate effort to undermine Nigeria's anti-corruption efforts and weaken local government autonomy, which is essential for grassroots democracy. He warned that the governor's actions could jeopardize the country's anti-corruption fight, potentially leading to sanctions or blacklisting by the Financial Action Task Force.
These governors have, decided to drag Nigeria back by taking these agencies to court to say that nobody should be indicted, nobody should be investigated, nobody should be arrested for monumental grand corruption in their states. This is something that is not only against our laws that have established these agencies, but against Nigerians that have continued to suffer problems of corruption that undermine peace and security, that undermine Nigerians from accessing social services like health, education, because the money, when they budgeted those money, they diverted this money, and now somebody is saying that they will not want anybody to come and even put eyes on what those people are doing. And we know how much money goes into states. Secondly, we also see the deliberate and conscious attempt to undermine the Supreme Court judgment that allows local government autonomy in this country. They still want to control that money they have been using, to collect and do their, self-centered interests and embezzle the money, So what they are doing is not only a joke, but is something that is threatening the foundation of even our country. Because if you say that people should be allowed to loot and steal, then you have democratized and liberalized looting and stealing in the country. And we cannot be watching this to happen, because this is not what democracy stands for.
The executive director of YIAGA Africa also emphasized that the absence of accountability would push Nigeria towards moral and economic deterioration.
The decision of the Supreme Court needs to be upheld and complied with by all governors in all states, because that decision enhances local governance and it liberates our local governments from the stronghold of governors. We also call for sanctions against any government at the subnational level that fails to comply with the decision of the apex court of the land, because the Supreme Court is the court and the apex court, and it has ruled, and any attempt to deviate from the decision of the Supreme Court is an affront to constitutionalism and also an affront to our democracy. And so we call on the federal government, the National Assembly, and other relevant anti-corruption agencies to institute and enforce appropriate sanctions against any government official at the state level who continues to flout financial autonomy of local governments. In the same vein, we also call for increased oversight by the Financial Intelligence Unit to continue its oversight of the funds that are appropriated and deployed to local governments to ensure strict adherence to the ruling of the Supreme Court.
The coalition called on Nigerians to support the EFCC, the Independent Corrupt Practice Commission, and other agencies dedicated to protecting public funds and combating corruption.
We therefore stand firm in our commitment to support the EFCC, the ICPC, NFIU, and other anti-corruption agencies in all their efforts in promoting accountability, transparency, and justice in Nigeria. We reject any attempt to undermine the integrity of Nigeria anti-corruption framework, and call on all Nigeria to join us in defending the existing and effectiveness of all our anti-corruption agencies. The financial autonomy of our local government councils is non-negotiable. It is a constitutional provision that must be respected by all tiers of government. We stand united in condemning any action by state governors that undermines this autonomy and call for strict adherence to the rule of law. The development of our communities and strengthening of our democracy depends on it. We urge all Nigerians, civil society actors, our international partners to support this cause and hold state actors accountable for their actions. Local government elections should serve as the bedrock of Nigeria's democracy, offering a true reflection of the will of the people at the grassroots level. The current state of affairs, where elections are manipulated and voters are allocated rather than counted, is unacceptable. We, as civil society organizations in Nigeria, we continue to hold government to account and advocate for a system where the voices of every Nigeria is heard and where local government truly reflects the choices and aspirations of the Nigerian people. We call on all meaning Nigerians, political parties, and the international community to join us in condemning this practice and demand for reforms. Together, we can build a democratic system that serves the people, uphold justice, and foster genuine development from the grassroots up.